With the Leafs development camp underway, the Leafs have invited an unrestricted free agent that may prove to be a hidden gem for the organization. Plus, there has been major reports saying that Austin Matthews may be getting the captaincy from John Tavares, and we're going to break all this stuff down for you coming up on this episode of Hattrick HQ. But before we get into it, we got to say we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers within the next 2 weeks. So if you're enjoying the content here on the channel, you don't want to miss out on anything that's happening around the league, make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button. But with that said, let's just jump right into it. And the first topic is the Leafs get Jack Brauti, and Jack Brauti is that unrestricted free agent that we just talked about. He has been invited to the Leafs developmental camp and is looking like he could shock a lot of people in this camp. We did get a scouting report from him here, and as they say here, he's a 6 foot 165-pound defenseman that has a physical edge to his game. They say here that his passing needs some improvement, but his skating, his IQ, and his just defense is what will excel him into the next level. They also say here that he's projected to be an AHL second pair defenseman, but his ceiling is a 5'6" NHL defenseman as well. But Mark, it seems like we're on the defenseman train here in Toronto, with them inviting all defensemen to camp, with them signing some earlier today. But it looks like Jack Brauti could be a good fit for this Toronto Maple Leafs team.
Yeah, the biggest thing is we're seeing this trend with Brad Treliving. He wants two things in players. He wants big defensemen and puck movers. I mean, we've seen OEL come in. We've seen Hawk and Paul come in. We're seeing this new look Leafs blue line. And this seems exactly what Browdy might be. It's a guy coming in that's a heavy hitter. He's a puck mover. He's a guy that went undrafted. But there's so many guys coming through this development camp, UFAs, that can still be signed. And this is going to give the Leafs just an extended period of time just to kind of work with them, see what they're doing. We could invite him to the rookie camp. He could be making the preseason rosters. Who knows at this point, but bringing in these new fresh look guys, especially ones that are going to be physical, move the puck for you. His transition game needs a bit of work, like you said, but he's a smooth skater. He's a guy that's going to lay heavy hits and still be able to create a tiny bit of offense for you, is exactly what this Leafs team needs, while Brad Treliving's kind of moving out the Kyle Dubas era style of hockey, and he brings in this new hard, and I'm going to keep calling it the Western Conference because all Western Conference teams play hard, but it seems like he wants to sprinkle in this hard-hitting, really hard to play with team and still have star power and power that can still move the puck instead of just six guys that can hit. He wants guys that can be mobile, moving the puck like Riley and OEL, and then still have the big defensemen that can be your ground and pound guys.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, we see these young guys kind of defy the odds all the time by going undrafted and then just taking their career to the next level, taking a big jump in their play. And it's looking like Jack Brauti, if he can improve his passing and just move the puck better, it seems like, he could be a solid defenseman here, whether it's in the Marlies, whether it's eventually with the Toronto Maple Leafs. But what they say here is he's not afraid to jump up in the rush either. So it's looking like he could develop into a two-way defenseman if he can get this passing under control. And I really think, like what you said, Brad is just bringing in all the defensemen he can right now and hoping it's going to work.
Yeah, it seems like Brad's really focusing on defense. I know he's already said he wants to add more at forward. There's so many rumors going around. Nick Robertson's a guy that might be on the move, but it seems like the defense, he's known how bad it's been in Toronto. I'm not saying we've had the worst defense the entire tenure of Kyle Dubas, but it always seemed like this makeshift, just high analytic guys with good underlying numbers, but he never really took a look at the guys for just pure skill, pure size. You can't teach size. You can teach someone how to pass, but you cannot teach someone how to be 6'7". So getting a guy like this and someone that can just be mobile with the puck, fast moving, jumping on the rush, laying heavy hits, picking off passes, I think he's going to be in for a great competitive, just kind of prospect tournament with these guys. I mean, everyone that's going to be in this development program is going to want to make it on into the next of the prospect tournaments, into the Leafs preseason training camp. They want to get into this. So the competitive edge with these guys working their way into trying to get an NHL, AHL, two-way contract, whatever it might be, is going to make the competition level even better.
Yeah, 100%. And I think what he's trying to do here, Brad Living, is, the Leafs kind of has an aging blue line. So by the time these players are at the end of their career, you have these young guys that can come up and fill that role right away. And I actually love that. I think the Leafs have always had a great developmental system. So having, guys like Brauti and all these guys that are in this developmental camp, in this rookie camp, ready and chomping at the bit to get their shot in the NHL is really going to prove a big factor once, these aging defensemen start making their way out of the league. But that's enough on Jack Brauti. We'll have to keep an eye to him in developmental camp and see how he plays. And we hope, he gets a chance to go to the next level here in the rookie camp. But we're going to get into the main topic of the video today, Mark. What everybody clicked in for, and that is Papi Stealing The C. And I mean, this is major news. A massive report that we weren't really expecting to see today, about John Tavares potentially having to give up the C and give it to Austin Matthews. And where we got this is from Nick Kyprios, where he said, from what I'm hearing, the Leafs are contemplating taking the captaincy away from Tavares and giving it to Austin. They will talk about it. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's real. And Mark, oh my God, I can't believe this. I mean, I wouldn't have expected today to hear that John Tavares was going to give up his captaincy to Austin Matthews.
See, the biggest thing with this is obviously a guy like Austin Matthews. I think it's just a matter of time before he wears the C. This could be with Toronto or for the next team. But I think stripping Tavares wouldn't be the best idea. I mean, we're looking at John Tavares. His production might drop a tiny bit, but he shows up in the big moments. When the Leafs caught lightning in a bottle, it was because of a game winner by John Tavares. He isn't going to be the most vocal guy on the ice. He's not going to be screaming. He's not going to be yelling at the top of his lungs. But this is a guy that's been a captain in this league for quite some time. I do agree that maybe you need some more guys in this locker room like Ryan Reeves that's going to be loud, get everyone fired up. But I think the way John Tavares holds himself, how he looks as a captain, how players look up to him. I mean, Fraser Minton was a guy that's been looking up to John Tavares since he joined the Leafs. We've seen these young guys move in with Tavares. We've seen Tavares take players under his wing. So maybe stripping the captaincy isn't going to be the right idea, especially with John Tavares going into the final year. Obviously, if John Tavares walks in free agency at the end of next season, yes, take the captaincy because he wouldn't be there to give it back to him. But I think this is the opportunity for the Leafs to look at Matthews and say, hey, Tavares has a window. He has 2, 3, maybe 4 years left in this league. Show us why you're captain worthy. Show us why you deserve this. And if it gets to the end of the road where Tavares retires or moves on to a new team or loses the captaincy, I think that's when you give it to Matthews. I wouldn't want to rush in just to give it to him in the sake of making a change.
Yeah, America, there's something I disagree with a lot. I think, like you said, John Tavares has been a great captain throughout his whole career, whether it's been, wherever he's been. And, we've seen him off the ice. I mean, take these young players into his household, give them a place to sleep, a place to stay while they're playing with the Maple Leafs. So I don't think there's many other people out there that would do that for their teammates. But I think Tavares is such a great guy just in general. Like you said, the way he carries himself, he is a captain and he only has a couple of years left. So what's him going into a year where he needs a contract extension as well, taking the C off him may piss him off, because it would piss me off if I was John Tavares, and it could lead to him not resigning in Toronto. And yes, everybody says he's old, we don't need him anymore, but yes, he's that guy. He keeps the locker room together when times are tough. And I just can't see right now Austin Matthews being a better captain or even on the same level of captain than John Tavares. Do I eventually think he will get it? Yes, I 100% think he will. When it's John Tavares' time, when he hangs up the skates, yes, that is the right time to give Austin Matthews the captaincy. And it's not like you're trying to give Matthews the captaincy to try to make him stay. He just signed a big, long contract. He obviously is the captain of the future for Toronto, but this isn't the right time to strip John Tavares. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Because the biggest thing, and what I'm looking at in this whole aspect of the captaincy, the leaders of this group, obviously you bring in guys that can be leaders. Like I said, Ryan Reeves is going to be a vocal guy on this back or on the team that's going to be able to fire the boys up, get people going. Morgan Riley is the longest tenured Leaf. This is also a guy that is a leader within the locker room. Austin Matthews is most certainly a guy that a lot of players listen to advice. He speaks up, he says his mind as well. But John Tavares is not the problem. I think this kind of falls back on a lot of Leafs fans saying there's no consistency in leadership, nothing gets going. I think a lot of it had to do with Sheldon Keefe. I think without holding people responsible, with Craig Berube coming in, having this new system, having this new Wild West where he's going to look down and say, hey, this is how we're running things. This is how team chemistry goes. This is it, and you have to do it. I think we're really going to see a guy like John Tavares kind of excel in a system, to work harder, to be the captain everyone wants. And I don't think stripping him of the captaincy after the season of having new players come in, having a new coach, is the right idea.
Yeah, and we hear all the time from Leafs players saying the locker room dynamic is great, and why would you want to throw a wrench into that and just drive a wedge between Austin Matthews and John Tavares? It just puts both of them in an awkward spot. I mean, can you imagine the next day in the dressing room when, you know, you're lacing up your skates and John Tavares walks in, and, you know, that's just got to be awkward. It's got to, you know, be a weird situation for both of these players, which I'm sure are great friends outside of the team. So it doesn't make sense to me. I definitely don't agree with it, and eventually it will happen, but now is definitely not the right time. But we want to hear your guys' thoughts on that down below in the comment section. Love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on everything we talked about today. We love reading your guys' comments. But with that said, let's get into everybody's favorite topic here on the channel, which is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to Mike. Shout out to you, Mike. He says, "Ye from Newfoundland." And buddy, you knows we're from the Rock, man. No better place to be. And it looks like you are too. And you got your Moose license this year, Mike, from your profile picture. But shout out to you. Love seeing all your guys' support here on the channel. A big shout out to Mike, fellow Newfie here. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to go down below, hit that like button, helps push these videos out to all the Leafs fans out there on YouTube. Also, comment on the video. You might be featured on the next comment of the day, just like our buddy Mike was today. And subscribe to the channel, because we're on the road for 4,000 subscribers. A heavy push to 4,000 subscribers. We're hoping to get there in 2 weeks. So help our dreams come true by going down and hitting that little red button on your screen. And if you want to check out a video we did earlier, it'll be popping up on your screen right now. But as always, I've been your host, KC, alongside my co-host, Mark Pye. Keep your stick on the ice.